Hi, Ryan Davis with Brian Carper's Guide Service again. Here to talk to you a little bit about touch up on what we talked about last week with your basic slip float rig. Last week I set a slip float rig up on a 4.5 foot rod that we would use for shallow water crappie fishing in the spring if we want to present a minnow over a brush pile. And this is a really good way to do it, but sometimes, especially if you're catching a lot of fish, you will lose the depth that you set your bobber at if you catch a couple of fish, because as the fish are pulling against and you reel your stopper up to the end of your rod, it will actually ride down the line just a little bit. And the next thing you know, you've lost that magic depth that you're actually catching the fish at. So one thing that I have found that is a little bit new to me, but I've really had a lot of good success with it. Instead of fishing my slip floats on a 4.5 foot rod, I have actually gone to an 8 foot rod. Alright? Now, this advantage of the 8 foot rod is where most of us are not used to using rods of this size. But once you get used to it a little bit, it's very easy to handle. Now, the advantage of the 8 foot rod is once I set my depth with my slip float, I can cast as much as 8 foot of line, 8 feet, and I don't have to worry about the bobber stop going up in the eyes and actually losing my depth. The 8 foot rod is great, especially if you're up close to your cover. You're actually just going to use a little bit of a flipping maneuver, just like you would do if you were flipping a jig in bass fishing. And the great thing with the longer rods is they're actually better for swinging the fish up and over the rail. The 8 foot rod is a little bit long. It's a little bit longer than what we're used to, but once you get used to it, it's not bad at all. Not expensive. This is not something you're going to go out and spend a lot of money on. You can pick an 8 foot rod up. They're actually used for trolling in most cases, but you can pick them up at any sporting goods retailer. They're just a trolling rod for crappie, but they make great slip floating rods. You can have one of these rigged up, have it set to where you're got 6-8 feet set up. If you want to fish a little bit shallower, you might keep another rod in the boat on a slip float that is a little bit shorter rod, and that way you don't have to worry about changing your depth as much. But this is a really good tool to have in your arsenal when it comes to springtime crappie fishing. Hope that helps. I'm Ryan Davis for Brian Carper's Guide Service.